Hello everyone, Linda Israel here, and today I'm going to show you how to make, I guess you could call it an altered paperclip pen for your journals. So the idea is that it is flat and it has a paper clip on it so that it can fit on your page that you're working on in your journal, and you always have a pen. So let me show you what I've got. First, I found some gel pens. You can buy some refills without the casing, but I found it was actually more expensive to buy just the refills. So I found some cheap gel pens at Staples. You want a gel pen or a pen of any kind that will come apart from the housing, and you want it to not be super thick. These are not perfect, but I think they're going to work just fine. And the next thing you want to do is grab a scrap of paper and make sure that it writes, because there's nothing more frustrating than to put one of these pens together and the pen didn't even write. So if you're using an old pen, make sure that it writes. The next thing that I did was, this is from Linda's Wisdom. It is a journal page that is an image all over, and I cut approximately a 1 1/4 inch by 11 inch strip. Now you can go longer if you want. If your paper isn't as long as 11 inches, or maybe your gel pen is a little bit longer, you may need 2 of these pieces instead of just 1, and then cut it to the size. So with that being said, what I did was folded it in half, and really quickly I'm going to put some distress ink on this end, and then I'm going to open it back up, and I want to put a paper clip in here. And when I did it on this one, I was noticing that it kind of stuck out a little bit more, and I didn't have a whole lot of room here. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, I'll go ahead and do it the way I had done it the first time. So you can see, you can modify it yourself. Just kind of play around to see what works best for your pen insert and the piece that you're working on here. All right, so I've unfolded it, and I know that my paper clip isn't really all that wide that's going to go in here. So right about in the center, I chose on mine to put a little slit up here. So I have an idea of where I want this paper clip to go. The next thing I've done is I've just used my tape glider. You can use your score tapes, anything like that. The tape is better for this particular application than glue, because you'll end up with glue everywhere and it's just a mess. So I found that some kind of tape works great. So I'm going to go right down the center. Then I'm going to go right next to the very, very edge. And I found that if I put the adhesive all the way across, things fit together better. It didn't shift on me if I just put the tape on the bottom half of this where the fold is. And then I know that I'm going to end up cutting off part of this bottom, so I really want to make sure there's a lot of tape right in the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and just open that slit back up where I'm going to insert my paper clip, and I'm going to take the smaller portion and poke it into that hole and slide it down. Now I want mine to stick up just a little bit because I plan to put a charm on it, so I'm letting that stick up just a little bit, and then making sure that this is stuck down on the inside. I'm going to add just a little bit more adhesive on top of that paper clip. Then I'm going to take my pen and line it up down the center of my paper piece here. I'm trying to hold it in place. And then I'm going to fold this over, making sure they meet. And then what I found is if I held it up in my hands and I just start squeezing the edges in to flatten that out. And I'm just pinching all the way down. If there's too much white showing, that if you put the distress ink, it's not going to cover it up, you can take a pair of scissors and just trim this. It's going to get off just a little bit because of the nature of going around the pen. So if you have a white area, don't worry, you didn't mess up. It just takes a little finagling to kind of trim it up just a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is at the bottom, I want this to come to a point. So I'm going to kind of eyeball it here and cut it at an angle. And if you want, you can grab that piece that you cut off and put it on the other side and snip that the same size. And then that way they're even. Okay? Then I'm going to take my Distress ink and I'm going to make sure this is all pressed well together. And I'm going to go over these edges. So at this point, if I want, I've got one of these little charms that has a little lobster claw on it. You could use a jump ring, whatever way you want to add. You could even add ribbon and fibers. I'm just going to add that on there. And I've decided to take it one more step. And I've got a little dragonfly image from Linda's Wisdom. So I'm going to use my Aleene's Tacky Glue and make a little perimeter glue and then right down the center. And then I'm going to lay this on top. And I'm just going to form it to the pen. So there's a little bit of a ridge there. So I'm just kind of smashing this back and forth. You can use the tape if you want. I just like using the glue because it costs less. Those tape runners get kind of expensive. So if I can use regular glue, I'll do that because Aleene's Tacky Glue is so inexpensive. All right, so there is a really quick tutorial on making a pen that you can use in your journal. So as you can see, it writes really well. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're inspired to grab some paper and make a pen that can fit inside your journal. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Of course, comment below if you have any comments or questions. Check the description box for the kit that I use, which is Linda's Wisdom. And make sure you check out my social media. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell at the top. Every Monday at 3:45 p.m. I am live here on YouTube Central Standard Time, and Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time I am live here on YouTube. All right, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Lots of love to you. Bye.